refrain from sidebar conversations. If you need to talk to one of your people sitting next to you, please feel free to go outside. The doors are unlocked and you can come back in. The first order of business is to open the public hearing for the old school. I need a motion to open the public hearing. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, yeah. All right, so, Frank, did you have a presentation? You wanted to,
Yeah.
I have the notice that was in the paper, just as you mentioned, if anyone wants to see it here.
there's a copy of the notice that was in the paper. If anyone would like to see it, Kathleen has it up here in front of her. Basically, we're going to have the presentation. We're going to go over the numbers that we pretty much have so far, and then public participation. Obviously, there's a lot of people here, so we're going to try to limit it to like 3 minutes to try to at least give everyone an opportunity to speak. If we need more additional time to schedule more public hearings, then that's what we'll have to do. So without further ado, Frank, do you want to do your thing first, or?
Do you want to give an introduction as to what we're doing? Or?
Well, basically, what it boils down to is we came up with three viable options for the school. One would be demolishing the school. The other would be to refit the school. The town, basically, we got no prices from the bids. The only prices we got on refitting the school was from the engineering company, and that was a estimate. A good faith estimate, I guess. So the only actual prices we got from the bid was for demolition of the school. And the third option was there has a newly formed Friends of Otisville School, LLC, formed. Basically, it's a group of residents that were thinking that if the asset of the school was turned over to them, perhaps they would be able to obtain funding, do fundraising, and perhaps refit the school and have a purpose for the building. So if you want to do yours first, and then we can, I can go over these prices that we got, but if you want to go over this first, that's fine.
Yes. My name is Frank Ketchum. This is Allison Miller. We've been involved with the Otisville School Project since the town voted to keep it, or the residents voted to keep it. We were on a committee to research the ideas for the school, and we came up with this idea to form the not-for-profit and to try to rehabilitate the school at no cost to the taxpayer. What we have here is a little PowerPoint presentation. We'll run through it for you and just describe what we have in mind.
So really, this is going to be very brief. We know that there's probably a lot of people who want to speak. Actually, the president of the organization is also going to get up and speak. But what you'll hear from all of us who are involved in the Friends of the Otisville School is that we believe that rather than the other two options, we hope that the public will vote to turn the school over to the Friends of the Otisville School so that we can look into funding options and turn it into a community resource. I really think it's a very valuable asset, and that this is a possibility that should be explored. I think, and I hope everyone got a copy of the handout that we prepared for you. It has a lot of the same information on it, but basically what we feel is that it really can foster a sense of community. We know that Mount Hope and the village of Otisville is a great community, and this is just something really that could be turned into and bring more people to the town of Mount Hope, as many other communities are kind of, looking for to keep their center and to hang on to their own historic identity. Very briefly, we believe that there's a possibility for many options, and these are all really just things that can be discussed. There is a possibility to consolidate, and that does not mean eliminate, but to consolidate government services, perhaps to put town and village offices, courts, police under the same roof. That's one possibility. We certainly envision it as a place that could be a resource for recreational and educational opportunities, classes that could be held there, exhibits that could be held there, that could be offered to our community. Many, again, opportunities for community development. And these, again, I'm not going to go into because they are on the handout that you received.
So many of these are real popular, whether they're CSA gardens on the grounds outside of it, coffee houses and exercise programs, or adult education.
We do want to add that this is not something that's brand new. The Warwick Valley Community Center is a school that was turned into a community center. It's happening locally. It's happening across the country. There is a lot of grant money available. One of the big concerns is where is the money going to come from? There's a lot of grant money that is available. We've already been in contact with a woman who works for the Orange County Planning Department who has offered to write grants for us. We certainly know there are a lot of resources in our community. We have professionals who have already offered to donate time, equipment, labor, expertise, materials. So we truly believe, and then of course there are fundraising options that we would look into as a nonprofit organization, but we really do believe this is a resource that should be kept in our community and rebuilt, reused, readapted for the town of Mount Hope.
We're done.
I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity. Particularly thank Supervisor Wolfe for his determination to have the owners of the town of Mount Hope decide the ultimate future of the school. My name is Robert Klaus. I'm the president of Friends of the Otisville School Incorporated, also known by its acronym PHOTOS, F-O-T-O-S. We are a not-for-profit New York State corporation and IRS determined 501c3 public charity. The corporation was organized earlier this year by a group of concerned local citizens who strongly believe that the old school yet has great potential and should not be hastily or prematurely demolished. Thus, as our bylaws declare, we are dedicated to its acquisition, preservation, and rehabilitation, and to the future long-term development of the property as a unique community resource. So, how would this all work? First, should the referendum determination be favorable to our cause, the corporation would seek to acquire title to the property. If the corporation did not hold title, our fundraising abilities would be typically compromised from the start. Few local residents would be inclined to give money for a building that is owned by a municipality they already pay taxes to, and certainly no larger benefactors, grantors, or endowers would give money to develop a municipally owned building. We would also be deprived of certain tax exemptions if we did not put title to the property. Thus, we would propose to purchase the property from the town for the sum of $1. As for the physical rehabilitation of the building and the longer-term developmental aspect of this project, we envisioned a 6-year plan to attempt to accomplish these goals. Our reasoning is that the first year would be taken up evaluating and prioritizing the needs of the building, doing repairs and rehab work, organizing our supporters, promoting our efforts, getting our fundraising apparatus up and running, and developing a long-term plan for community use of the property. After this first organizational year, we propose a period of 5 years wherein we actively attempt to bring our development plans to fruition. If, after 5 years, we are successful, we continue, hopefully in perpetuity. If, after 5 years, or any time before that, it becomes evident that we would be unable to accomplish our goals, the property would then simply revert back to the town of Mount Hope and could then be demolished or otherwise disposed of. We propose to fund this endeavor privately through individual contributions from our friends and benefactors, through a very active fundraising program, through public and private grants, et al. The only potential taxpayer money potentially involved would be if the board in its collective wisdom concluded that the success of this endeavor was in the best interest of the town, and they decided, out of the collective goodness of their hearts, to provide photos with a little seed money to help ensure our success. But don't do that. And like I said, only out of the goodness of your heart. We truly believe the old school has great potential to be a valuable and unique resource for years, even generations to come. Its potential is only limited by the funding we can raise to develop it. We further believe that our plan is the best of the available options, as it will not be a burden on the already overburdened taxpayers, and if successful, it will be a revenue producer. And it offers a viable option to the unnecessary demolition of a structurally sound, century-old, iconic local landmark. Should the voters of the town of Mount Hope be amenable to our plan for the school, we are ready and willing to accept this worthy challenge, and we would encourage anyone who's interested in the future of the old school to join us and support us in our efforts. Again, thank you very much for this work.
All right, anyone that would like to come up and speak, please just state your name. Any comments? Right now, we're still doing the public hearing on the old school. Basically, we just heard the presentation. The only thing that I have, obviously, if the town wants to redo the school ourselves, and again, it's only an estimated cost. The estimated cost that was given to us by Casey Engineering was $4.4 million. And the prices that were sent out for bid and were received were two prices, one being $218,000 and one being $272,600 for the demolition and the removal of the old school. So basically, those are the three options. At this time, please feel free to come up and say whatever it is that you want to say for the old school. Yeah, we're doing a 3-minute time limit just to try to get everyone through.
Is this a question and answer?
We could sure try.
I'll start. My name is Stan Chiswell, lifelong resident of the town of Mount Hope in the village of Roseville. I guess a question for Bob. Several $billion are going to be needed to renovate this. You said there was a lot of grant money available. How much grant money is actually available?
Well, I tell you the truth, I don't know about my yet. We're going to try to certainly find out. A lot of the, if we did acquire, a lot of the work that you would anticipate doing with volunteer labor and volunteer efforts. So, whether we would need $4 million in grants, I really couldn't tell. The other thing, until we really see exactly what is required of the school, how much work it really needs, prioritize its needs, it's difficult to say what the long-term plan is, other than we definitely have some communities. That's our purpose, is to have a community center or some type of community use. But your question is, are that much in grants available? I don't know. We're going to find out.
All right. Now I have a question for the board. If you were to demolish the building, that's all it says on this piece of paper about the village yard sale, what would happen to that property if you demolished the building?
The thought process would be that obviously the school has never been on the tax roll, so if it was to be demolished, we would just put single-family lots in there and sell them. I believe if there was a road going through, it would be eligible for 6 lots. If not, it would be eligible for 5 lots. So 5
Is
single
the
family.
village of Lawrenceville willing to rezone that property?
Well, it's single family. Put single family houses in there now. That's the zone
the building, what's your intent to do with the building? What are you going to do with it?
I don't really know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what anyone else on the board thinks. I don't know. I know originally when I took office, we looked at consolidating services there. At the time, I think Senator Bonasek said there was like $100,000 available, 50 for the village and 50 for the town, which obviously wasn't enough to make it worth our while. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Can you come up, Rick? I'm sorry.
In a minute.
To the board, I am a taxpayer of the town of Mount Hope. Find no humor in the fact that certain groups would like taxpayers to foot the bill for misguided pipe dreams in place. Farmers markets and craft shows filling the building. The taxpayers will shoulder the burden of the estimated $4.5 million to refurbish the building and $450,000 a year to pay for the utilities, heat, and water. The group talks of grants. Sure, there are grants. Try getting one that will keep the lights on for 1 year. You can do the building in phases, but the cost will only increase. If this group thinks this building has a viable future, let them buy it and reap the financial gains of its ownership. I, for one, do not want to spend a penny of my hard-earned money on the building. Jim Claus.
Who is it?
Jim Claus. So, you know, that was Jim. For me, I had no problem with selling that building. You know, I don't begrudge what these people want to do, but I don't want to pay for it. So, you know, they have wonderful ideas, and if they can make it happen, that's fine with me. But I would like it going from the town of Mount Hope so that if it fails, we don't have to go through this again in another 5 or 10 years. Just, you know, if somebody wants to buy it and make it a movie theater, that's fine with me. I really don't want my taxes to pay for it.
Kathy, is in here? You said you don't know what to do with the school.
I personally don't know.
Do you have any, as a board, do you have any ideas what to do with it?
No.
I don't think we have a use for it as a board, as a township.
So then you would recommend demolishing it?
That's not up to me, that's up to you. But as a future purpose for the town to move into it, it would be cheaper for us to put an additional town hall than it would be right now.
Okay. Janet, do you have any ideas with it?
Honestly, I've always wanted the building sold.
Janet doesn't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've listened to some ideas that have been thrown out there in the past about municipal buildings and stuff, but I don't have any ideas for myself.
I feel the building is too oversized. The consolidation of the village, I feel it'd be too much wasted space for a sole municipal entity.
Well, I think that would be part of it, right? And the proposal that was made was that the school, if it doesn't do what it is hoped and prayed for in the 6 years, you will take it back. Now take it back. Take it back, whoever. Okay? To me, that's a win-win. Either it's going to flourish, and it's going to be awesome, it's going to be what everybody was hoping it was going to be, or it's going to be nothing. And if it's nothing, you get it. If it's something, you get it. If it's something terrific, you, as the town, will reap the benefits of it. It's not like the individuals on the boards or the groups are going to get any money out of it or anything more than hard work that they're going to put into it to get the grants. And yes, there are lots of grants, and it's lots of money, and it's not going to cost you anything, Mr. Brewer, I promise you. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, because I'm not gonna go up there. Other towns have done it, other places have done it, it works, and it's always been a good thing.
You have some examples, Jerry?
See, Warwick, I have to go online, I think, Marlboro, possibly up in that area, there's one or two that we've done. Upstate, so it's happened a few times.
This was the,
Hello, my name is Lou Dodd, 2265 Mount Hope Road. Where we are right now is, we voted not to sell it, right? So we're not going to sell it. So why not let those folks have a chance to do what they can do on that building? I agree with the lady that spoke and the gentleman before. I make a living tearing down buildings and putting new ones in their place. There's other avenues that we can pursue if they're going to be a not-for-profit and LLC. This community doesn't have a shelter. This community does not have a building that will sustain high winds. That would go. That's been there a long time. So there are other avenues to pursue as far as grants. Trust me, we all pay a lot in taxes. I'm not against giving them the chance to make it fly. There's a lot of different avenues once you take it out of Town of Mount Hope, turn it into an LLC, and let these folks have the chance to make something of that building. Because we could not put up a building today that was sustained what that building was sustained. It's not ADA compliant, it's not this, it's not that, but it can be. I know we had a chance to sell the building, and that's long past. We all voted not to sell the building because the building, if we sold the building, let's be honest, is going to generate 1 ounce of tax dollars to us. And it's going to be in someone else's hands. So that's our building. I didn't go to school there. My brother did. Other people did. There's no harm in letting them give it a try. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. But we tried as a community. Because you couldn't put up a building that will sustain what that building will sustain. It's still standing there after 100 and some years. Thank you.
Anybody else?
My children went to that school. There's a lot of memories in that school. And I personally helped save the Middletown Library, name-wise, and people names are all in there. So I do know the value of historical things and history in general. And I was going to say that I think it might be a better idea to demolish the building because of the physical state that it's in right now. And the physical state that it's in right now is due to the neglect of the previous board for years, which is a sad situation. But now I'd like to hear more about this 5-year plan and all the ins and outs of it. Because it seems like, well, maybe that might work. We can have at it and see what happens. I'd also like to know, which I asked this question previously, how much that building has cost this town to date. And that was in my previous questions that I submitted. Do you have any idea the cost of the building to the town?
There's a monthly electrical fee, there's a monthly alarm fee.
The insurance
Insurance.
is how much?
It's part of the policy without having to break it down building by building. I'm sure we can figure out how much it is. It costs us a little bit for Dean and the guys to go up and do repairs on windows when they break it all the time.
Okay, well, do you think it's costly or fair to keep it?
engineer to come in and we have the perspective of what it may cost. I'm going to say it may cost. And those were, we paid quite a bit of money to have that study done. So, and these people are pretty solid on what their numbers are. So we have the amount to rehab it, which we never want anybody to be responsible for that. None of us want our taxes to go up. The other thing is that the demolishing amount from the engineering company was $1.6 million. So there's a huge gap there in between the two, and I don't think we know for sure that that's going to be an exact number of that. Because isn't there a lot of open windows in that? There could be other things that could come up. Plus, you're going to have the cost if they divide it, tear it down, and now you're going to divide it into lots. There's a cost factor for that, which is still going to cost the taxpayers. What we're trying to ask you is, look, we got a building that's worth using in our community. How many people's kids have gone for driver's ed, or going for a boating course, or going for a simple, any kind of class, or how many people have gone for adult education? How do you go to other communities? Wouldn't it be great to have that in ours? That'd be a great thing. And what we're trying to do is so we put it back not only to our community, but for others that can come in and bring tax dollars, whether they're just coming for a class and taking a class, and they're stopping in and buying something from another business. That's the draw that you want for the area. Something that will have, let's say there's art, there's horticulture, things like that. That's the draw. From my understanding, there's groups in our community that don't actually have a building for their own causes. They have to rent different places and things. This building would be open to them. So what we're trying to do is there's two ways that could cost you money, or the third, it's not going to cost you anything. You know, the worst that's going to happen is that in 6 years down the road, the town's going to end up with a building, you can do the same thing then. Tear it down, divide it up, still at a cost. The main factor is this is for the community. It's not that we're trying to do anything different than other communities have done. It's been done, it's been proven, they're successful. Do we know how much the grants are? No, because it has to go depending on what you're doing with different things. It's not, it's like politics. It's not here, it's all over the place. So our job is to try to find those things, and we want that this goes through. We want input of what the community wants, what they would like to have. So this thing has been sitting idle for too long. And I'm not blaming anybody here, but the town just let it go.
It's time. Your 3 minutes are up.
Sorry. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Diana Lowe from Village of Otisville. During the initial presentation, a comment was made that there probably have to be some fundraising as well. My only comment, and it's for the LLC, it's not really a question, but a comment for consideration, is that I would think that fundraising would be essential, because any grant you put in for, in all likelihood, you're going to have to submit engineering plans. And engineered plans are extremely costly. That's not going to be given to you in a grant. You're going to have that funded somehow. If you're lucky enough to get an engineer who will work with you on your committee, you're really going to hit the jackpot. But the fundraising will have to be part of it. And I think that the people who are really behind this and really want to see it happen also have to ask yourself if you're going to be willing to help, and if you will be willing to help and fundraise for these people so that they do have at least a shot at making it work. That's all.
Anybody else?
One more question. Who has final say what happens with the building? Town board or the taxpayer voters?
What I'd like to see is I'd like to see all of the taxpayers vote on it with those three options. And obviously, whichever one wins is the direction that the board goes.
that's the board's decision how it goes, correct?
Yes.
If there is a referendum, can you, make sure that you clearly state the upside and the downside? Like, if they try and you said, yeah, go ahead for 6 years and do it, what is the downside to that? I'm not asking that it be answered here, but what is the potential liability downside to allowing these people to attempt to rehabilitate the building?
Anybody else?
Yeah, hi, Frank Ketchum, Town of Mount Hope. As you guys know, I've been involved with this from the beginning, and our dream has always been to have a community center, a rural community center that's recommended by the Mazer Group when they first did their study, and KC Engineering, when they came in, they made mention of it also. I think it's one of the greatest things that we could have here in our community. It's going to help to continue to keep our #1 status for the best place in the state, I guess that's right. But I say that we see so many options, and so many people come to us with options in regards to this. And I say, I'd just like to please ask for a chance. Just give us a chance for a few years and see what we can do with it. I know, we've talked a number of times that it wasn't going to be the board that decided this, it wasn't going to be us, the committee that decided this, that it was going to be a vote to the people, and I still hope that it is going to be a vote to the people. One of the things about the cost of renovation for this building in the KC Engineering estimate was all prevailing wages and all the building done at the same time, and pretty much soup to nuts, everything repaired, and that's where it came up to be $4.5 million. Same with demolition, is $1.6 million, and it didn't include the hazmat removal of anything in the building. So even at the lower numbers, at the 200, doesn't include the hazmat removal. So all that's going to come out in a study that had to be done before the building could ever be demolished anyway. But again, you have the two choices: demolition at taxpayers' cost, renovation at taxpayers' cost, or to give the not-for-profit a chance for a few years to see what we can do with it. And I wish you would do that. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Chad, can I just ask a canvassing question? Sure. Ken Kinkella, Logan, Garboy, Kieran, all those old names that float around almost all the cemeteries in here. I'm born and bred here. Who went to school in the Otisville School? Just with a show of hands. I would dare say 4.5. And that's an emotional play. I'm doing that purposely. That school, that building has nothing but love for this community. But I would dare tell you, as someone who's now been home for a very short time and gone for almost 30 years, why does a family of 4 have a reason to move to Town Hope, to our town? Why? That's a hard question. It's to no one's individual fault. But what if it's been hard? Ricky, how many farms we got left in the area? Active, true farms. 3, how many did we grow up with? Frankie, all of us. I mean, that was the backbone of the community, but what is there left in the community for a family of 4 to want to move to the village of Otisville, or within the town of Mount Hope? We don't have it. I went over to Milford today specifically because I knew we were doing this. Milford just had another success story in their community center, right downtown. How many people have driven over to Pine Bush? Our cousin owns the Anchor florist store as you go into the main street. And you see that little main street of Pine Bush and the way that it's flourished. They've given their community a little something, and they've had home sales. So we demolished this thing. We put 6 new homes on it. Who's going to move here? What is there here for that other than that school? That school is 100 years old. All the love, all the old Halloween parades as kids we used to walk around, all that stuff could really be brought back, but not at a tax expense. There really is a potential for tax revenue. There truly is. We've already addressed and asked the village if we could start looking at possible change to ordinances that will allow us to maybe put a cafe in. Maybe a little stand, something. We've got 2 populations, those prisons. Those prisons have employees. Where do they go for lunch? Shinati's is gone. The little thing of Nick's can't support it. I mean, there's a lot there, so we really do hope that you guys are going to turn this over to a town vote. Chad, I really appreciate everything that I've heard in a short time at home. That you want to make us let the voter decide what to do with that. And I hope everybody will give us a chance, because if we fail in 6 years, we've lost nothing. But if we succeed, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Anybody else?
My name is Brendan Connor, resident of town hall. Can I ask what resources are available right now to the residents as far as studies that have been done in the past, reports for, I heard a couple of reports referenced that have happened over the course of years, and I think some of these that are Casey consulting report, and I know Casey Engineering is the current consultant, but are those publicly available or posted on the website? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could boil it. I mean, it's a book. It's, I mean, it basically has all of the photos and,
You can come down and film it.
yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit probably to put on the website. I certainly could ask.
The reason I ask is just because I think there's probably a lot of misinformation. Anytime there's a hot button issue like this, people are talking, they're trying to get answers. Sometimes things are passed around, it's not necessarily true. I mean, I came here myself to learn tonight, to try to get the background on what's going on and what the thoughts are throughout the community. So to be able to really get into some of those facts, I think would be useful. So myself personally, I have an engineering background, so I've made a couple of those books before, so.
Okay. Want to help this out?
Perfect. I'll find out if we can do this whole report onto the website. I don't know that they're going to be able to, but we can certainly.
Which report is that?
This is the most recent one we had done last year from Casey Engineering.
Okay. And was there prior studies about?
Oh, certainly, yeah. Before my time, there was another study done for the school. I don't know what year that was. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but
This is many, many years ago.
2002.
Oh, okay.
That's available to you.
Okay.
did I answer your question, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, just like I said, I came here to learn something, so I think it's important. And I think potentially that building could be a real asset to the community, but I personally don't have, enough knowledge of the situation right now to make any kind of determination about that. So I think it's good to have it in mind and find out what we can.
Sure.
Once it's going, it's going.
Okay. Anybody else?
Chad, I just wanted to add something to answer Mr. Capello because I moved here 40-some years ago for peace and quiet and be out of the noise and hubbub of the city. And it's still that way today, and I don't mind it at all. Just for the record.
My name is Tim Lee, I'm a 45-year resident. I had the privilege of attending Otisville High School for 1 year. I took a tour in the fall and took pictures around the school and property and everything. It's really not that broken down, it can be repaired. But there's a lot of unique spaces there. You have the ball field. The kids can play ball. And there's the whole outside was a playground, it still could be. Some of the stuff is still there, some of the playground stuff is still there. There's a huge parking lot. Inside, there's a gym, a full-size basketball court for the people who've never been in there. You can play a full game of basketball, although the foul area is right up against the wall. There's also a stage where community events could be presented on stage. So I believe there's a lot of opportunity there for their ideas to have fruition. If they could get the cooperation of one of the police departments that when their lease expires to move in there, could you think of a safer place for your kids to play in a new playground with a police department on the premises, to play ball with a police department on the premises? You worried about drugs? You got the bulldog right there. He keeps it be safe.
We already own this building, but the police department is, you know, no lease. But I understand what you're saying, it's just very, very old.
Well, just wander around that block.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Tom Bonagor, Louisville resident. This is my 50th year graduating from Louisville High School. Our alumni contributes money to the Minnesota District every year, quite a bit of money. And I just feel that a lot of our alumni either passed on, moved on, and to come up with a vote for the whole area. A lot of new people moved into town on a vote. They don't know this school from Adam and Eve. They could care less. All they're looking at is dollars and stuff. And I feel that we could get shortchanged on it, that we don't just have the board vote and say, here, give it to us for $1, get it off our backs, you can have it.
Anybody else? Motion to close the public hearing for the old school.
I make that motion.
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. At this time, we're going to start the public hearing for cluster housing moratorium.
I have a notice available.
We have the notice up here, if anyone would like to see it, they're running to the newspaper. What can you tell us, David?
This is a local law requested by the planning board and then ultimately by the town board, which places a similar moratorium to the solar development on cluster subdivisions and developments. I think it's in such a line as regulations that are in place. The zoning and master plan committees are currently working on that, so there is movement on that is the primary focus of the law.
Does anyone have any questions on the cluster housing moratorium?
I have a hard time hearing you here with a little echo, but I'm very more,
You're talking about the high-density houses. Why do we need high-density houses now? When we've already we have 1 acre zoning here. We have had discussions in the past, high-density housing, we addressed that. And it was turned down in a lot of areas. There are areas that are high-density in our township. But I was just wondering why you need that if you've already got the rules and regs set up for 1 acre zoning in a lot of our township.
If that came to us from the planning board and the zoning board, we're just moving forward on their recommendation.
And I was trying to understand why we need that. That's the question I asked that. Why do we need a moratorium? Is that going to open up any worms? Or, are we happy with what we have right now?
I think the census is they'd like to just ensure that it's another level of security until the master plan is complete.
And
the simple answer is the planning board didn't feel like it was adequately addressed anymore. So they wanted to put this extra measure in place while it's getting worked on with the zoning committee.
with the zoning board.
With the zoning committee, there's a separate committee working on the code.
Right, so by putting a moratorium on there, you can't do any high-density housing for 6 months or a year.
Yeah, up to a year.
Up to a year.
Potentially, yes.
And my understanding is we were supposed to have discussed that in the past. If we hadn't discussed it, then we have to put a moratorium on and discuss it. And we have discussed it in the town before. And so I'm wondering, what's the big deal now that we have to have a moratorium when we've already talked about it several times in the past? And that's what I'm concerned about. And I'm worried about putting a moratorium on it and what's going to happen after that moratorium. Are
accomplish something, like doing that, is that the right way to go? That's my question.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'd like to answer that question, sir.
Address it to us then.
Okay. This can happen, and has happened. There's a development on the end of Mountain Road, out of San Mary, called Seven Peaks Development. And because it was turned into 49 homes or less, 49 homes can be built without any kind of central sewer system, just a basic septic system. And the loophole there is that in the same case in Bloomingburg, where Chestnut Ridge was built, proposed to be homes and a golf course, was turned in the middle of the night and turned over into condominiums. And these homes at Seven Peaks are 8,000 square feet. So at 49 homes at 8,000 square feet, our best estimate is it would be 1,000 to 1,200 square foot condos, with the average in children that Minnesot's going to be responsible for is between 6 and 8 per household per 1,200 square foot. Start doing the math. It's $30,000 to $40,000 per kid one way per year. Now the children, the boys go on one set of buses, the girls go on another set of buses. So that is what the reason is in my behind doing a moratorium, because we need to strengthen our planning and make sure that there is very many opportunities that could happen here. And if it's been done in other communities, it's not just in Bloomingburg, it's been done in Lakewood, New Jersey, it's been done in Monroe, it's being done right now in Chester, it's being tried in Warwick right now. So there is a very good opportunity and good reason to put a moratorium and stop what could be the potential of an issue or a problem that we could have in our community, and stop from our school taxes going up very, very significantly. So I think that we should go through and put a moratorium. And if I'm right, we go 6 months. And if we need more time, we go another 6 months. And if we need more time, we go another 6 months.
6 and 3 and 3.
Okay. So, yeah, my vote for it, I'm fully behind the question. I hope I answered your question.
Chaplain visitor tonight, my name is Dave Coleman, member of the town of Riverside Board. Just a suggestion for your cluster, and Dave knows this as he's our planning board attorney, would be to open up our zone book in relation to this. We had the 800-pound gorilla in the room a number of years ago with clustering and going round and round. We enacted a cluster law back in 2003 or 4, which you may want to take a look at, it's open meeting and so forth, just taking that as a reference. Just remember to be careful about exclusionary issues, so that the town doesn't subject themselves to the legal standpoint of moving the coastline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I?
I certainly, my background has been in planning and zoning, so I support the idea of a moratorium, because there's no doubt in my mind that the current zoning does not adequately address cluster housing. Cluster housing, as I understand it, is a fairly new concept, probably the last 10 years in zoning. But the one thing I was confused about in some of the comments that were made, and I'm hoping David can clear it up, is cluster housing is not high-density housing.
Not necessarily. What's usually envisioned with cluster subdivisions is that it gives an avenue for a developer to go under what would normally be the zoning requirement for the lot size. However, when you do it, there's a trade-off. So I believe Wayland is, not correct, I haven't done one of these in a while, but if you're going to do a cluster subdivision and come in under the normal zoning, 50% of the parent parcel has to be dedicated as an easement to the town for open space and recreational space and things like that. So that's generally what they're in.
My understanding as well. If you had a 40-acre parcel and you had 1 acre zoning, what the developer proposing cluster housing then might say is, well, I'd like to have just half-acre lots, but then we have this open space that we would be maintaining. And that's really the drive behind it, not to have high density, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, it's technically a higher density than what we normally do that.
No, it's still 40 homes.
It's,
but 40
yeah,
acres.
it's exactly what it says.
Anybody else? Motion to close the public hearing for cluster housing moratorium.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to approve the minutes from August 2016. Second motion. All in favor? Aye. All right, moving on here with the meeting. If anyone wants to talk outside, that's awesome. All right, board member reports. I'm sorry, correspondence. Kathleen, all you.
A copy of the Harmon Town's Teal, which is a national awareness campaign for ovarian cancer. Budget modification from the police department. Supervisor's report for July. Copy of correspondence from Dennis Ketchum regarding tax certiorari's certificate of liability insurance for concert series for Blueberry Mountain ice cream. Copy of the MS4 annual report for 2015. From Case Engineering, a letter from resident Terra Gomez, in appreciation and thanks for the summer rec program. Orange County Department of Public Works, a road closing notice for Tally Hole Road. Copy of correspondence from Busco Engineering regarding the town of Deer Park and the revised zoning law number 2. And another copy of correspondence from the town of Deer Park revised zoning law number 3. The town of Deer Park Memorial Service flyer that should like me to hang and let the board members know everyone is invited for Sunday, September 11th, 2016, over at the Deer Park Town Hall at 8:30 a.m. The police department monthly report for July. Correspondence from Orange County Department of Planning with regard to this cluster development, and they have a caution and comment. That is all that I have. I just received that tonight.
Committee reports. What do you got, Matt?
No report at this time.
Right?
Little League is over. Football, thank you, Dean, for getting the long vote for them on Sunday. As we had hoped. I guess I'm assuming it was done.
They're starting at
Yes. They had our open house on Sunday, so we were thanking them. So I'll pass it on to you. It was, summer rec obviously ended on Friday. Devon's Gate, I reached out, looking for a report there. And that's all I have.
Yeah.
I spoke with Lucy Joyce at the 4-H. They are very excited, obviously, about contracts. She said that the Family Fun Day was not as largely attended as in the past, but barbecue was still great. And they did very well with that. Their Fall Harvest Festival is September 17th, and their Duck Derby is October 22nd. And just with Paul tomorrow, we are going to be going over to Devon's Gate to do the medical pickups, medication pickups. That's all.
Just general, as far as buildings go, I just want to thank Dean and the guys for all the work that they've done in the basement in this building. They had one more work on again, but I think that's been resolved and we made some progress. They painted the whole basement downstairs. It looks good. They did a lot of work on the outside of this building. I think we did some work around the new building too, some new turn around the basement. We did find a problem with the sewer plant with the muffler on the backup generator. I'm going to have to talk to our sewer plant operator. I don't believe that generator runs a test cycle. I assume they're running a test cycle. I don't believe it does. So we're going to have to look into having some repairs done on the generator because the muffler is
It's been a while, but I've suggested in the past, he has them service by a contractor. We're paying top dollar. We do the one here, we do the one down at our shop.
I haven't seen a service contract.
Usually in the fall, the bills are coming in for it.
But I'll talk to them.
You got the bid.
I'm just saying, we could do it cheaper.
You got it. So,
I will talk to Mike. I think
They're paying
it needs some
$5
other.
when they come in and change oil, check it out.
We'll look into that contract thing, but I think we're going to have to do some repairs on it and possibly some upgrades. Well, I think together with Mike and you, maybe we can.
Yeah, I can go
out
out
Saturday and take a
tomorrow.
look at it.
I'll go out and see if we can run a test cycle through. What's wrong with the muffler?
I guess it's actually the water pipe that's threaded through the inside the work, I guess it's broken off.
the only thing I got right now is a lady came down today and dropped off these things for the Building Festival, which is going to be Saturday, September 17th. And Paul and Dean and I will meet with the committee there tomorrow, hopefully like what's needed for that event. Dean, you're up.
I had not much to report. We did our oil and chip farming last week. Letter waiting, we started some ditching. We also got the Bonusville oil and chip done on Friday. Started Thursday, we finished ours and finished there on Friday. So we are, right now we're sweeping roads and getting that loose stone up, and then we'll be painting the roads before the fall.
Thanks, Nate. And if you want to just mention while I have this out here, so basically, Senator Bonasak had sent out another wave of funding that's available between $50,000 and $100,000. Now, this is just the preliminary application that we'll be making. But I talked to Dean and also talked to Paul. So we're going to put two separate ones in with the board's approval. Basically, at this time, we'll explain the goals. If everyone's in agreement, we don't technically really have to vote. I just have to attach a letter saying that the majority of the board is in favor of moving forward. Basically, we're going to put in an application, fill out for the grant. It doesn't even mean we're going to make it to the second round, but I'm just trying to do it as the protocol says on the sheet. So, Dean, do you want to just tell us one thing that you had come up with?
What I thought we could use is a second road going tractor. One we have now does both flail behind the tractor and over the rail. If we had a second tractor, we could get our mowing done in half the time. Right now it takes about, well, it took this year from the middle of May until the last week to get the mowing done in just one pass. So if we had a second tractor, we could get it done a lot faster and utilize our personnel tractor, we could get a price off NJPA, which is good bidding process. And I think it would be right in that range of between 35 and 40,000.
Perfect. Does anyone have any issues with Dean pursuing the grant for this mower?
No.
Jim? Okay, so that's good. That's all you have for me. So basically, I'll attach it once you have to bring it and say that we have it, and everybody's in favor. And perfect. And actually, we'll skip around a little. Paul, do you want to just go over yours?
Yeah, one of the things we talked about is the HVAC in this building and the police building is an old system. We talked, I spoke to Chad about upgrading that, bringing a new system in, which would be more cost efficient. I spoke to Steve Dodd, he said actually it would have to be engineered, so we have to talk about engineering it. Along with that, one of the shortcomings we have is we have no ladies' locker room or ladies' facilities, and some of the money would go towards putting a locker room in for men and women, so it's separate. Right now we have a co-ed one, which is obviously not the best situation, so this would take care of it. One of the grant items was you have to make an enhancement to a current facility, so that would fit in with the grant. So.
Does anyone have that? Are you good with that?
Sounds good.
Right?
Sounds good to me.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So again, they're writing the grants on these 7 plus. Fire department?
You really don't have to clear out a room to play that.
Thank you.
It's nothing like that you said. Okay. Stu Barber, Second Assistant Chief, 901 Fire Department. I know we went over the numbers the last meeting. I didn't hand in the sheets. I'm just going to go over them again. For July, 29 calls, total to date 185. Drills for July 7th, to date 70. Call hours, 2,419. Drill hours, 1,302 hours. And firehouse work hours, all the work we do up there at the firehouse, 1,669 hours. A couple of things we got going on. We just had one member graduate from the fire police class. We have 4 members that are going to be becoming CPR instructors. We have 2 members starting firefighter 1 class soon. For the fair, we'll be covering medical coverage, and also for the night of the fireworks, we'll be doing the fire protection. Anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you. Stu, I have one for you.
Oh, I have a question. Go ahead.
In the Otisville Voice, we had a little issue last month that the police chief was involved with, and that was cleared up in my mind. But in the Otisville Voice for the month of August, a letter came out, which I believe Terry Willis is the one that writes your updates.
Okay, is that for the fire company or the fire department? Is that a fire department matter or is that a fire company?
Fire company matter.
Okay.
Is that not you?
I do have the president here and the vice president here, they can address it.
Okay. I'll ask Bill. Is this updated every month, Lou, that you know of?
Terry and Harry Gomez handles our websites. Just started out with that, which we're in the infant stage trying to get on board and make sure everything goes smoothly, and obviously it has not. We are making changes and we're doing things that we need to do to ratify the problem. I haven't seen that article because by the time I got to the store, they were all sold out.
Okay. You want to come over here and I'll let you read it and then I'll ask you?
Oh, you can read it out loud. Go ahead.
Here's my issue I have with this. This was cleared up last month. I thought it was a dead issue, but obviously it came back out August 1st and I got a call about it. And the question that had come up to me is, do you think I should write a letter to the editor of the Times-Picayune Record to clear something up? That's not my decision to make, so I'm going to ask this. It basically says, to make sure we're correct here, it says that the Town of Mount Hope Fire Company donated $1,000 to Boy Scouts for parking of the fireworks. And I just want to clear it up because I already know the answer. But I just want to clear up the answer. I don't know why it was printed in August's edition. If it was something to do with someone misprinting it, so be it. But I'm just asking the question because
That's another thing that we're still trying to clear up. Everyone is on the same page right
We are not responsible for the fireworks. We are not going to be responsible for the fireworks. It is going to be a town and a whole function now, and it's going to be sponsored, I hope, by Mike Romano and Mike Romano Electric. So how this all came about from there, when Terry actually turns that in or puts that paperwork in, I don't know. It's another thing that we are changing now. This type of situation, these problems will not occur anymore. There's a fail-safe system now as far as print. Plus, I'm not big on the social media. Certain things people don't take as a joke, people don't take as this, they don't take as that. It's not going to happen. As far as us donating the money to the Boy Scouts, that's a false statement in that paper. Because that money was made from the function that Mike Romano put on and the fireworks, and the town of Mount Hope sponsored those fireworks that evening. And I stood out the road with the Boy Scouts, and they asked, is there any charge for parking? And I'll tell you exactly what I said to them. There is no charge for parking. That is the Boy Scouts barrel for donation. So as they drove in, then they all put in the money in there. It was given the ball, the same thing we do every year. It's late at night and kind of hectic, which had to agree, up to the point of the fireworks, the whole snafu that went on. We were not supposed to be put out on Facebook. That's how we made changes. We were not supposed to be put out on Facebook that we were sponsoring the fireworks. I thought I had taken care of that. Well, I have taken care of that problem now. We have new people in line. We told myself and Paul, we told our insurance company that we're not doing traffic rules, nor are we doing fireworks. Now, when they see it in the paper and they see different things, Mount Hope Fire Company, annual fireworks display, that's a big problem. That's why I made that statement that everybody saw on Facebook, that everyone got upset. We do not, because I needed to make a statement that would cover me, go back that, cover me if there's a situation that arises from this. What's printed in that paper will never get printed like that again. We have a fail-safe system. When that was put in, it must have been past that. That's a different part. We're all responsible for it, and the only thing I can do is apologize again, like I apologize for what went on before that. Nothing was meant in malice, nothing was meant to hurt anyone. It was just, we are not sponsoring fireworks. We had always wanted the town of Mount Hope to sponsor the fireworks, and now we're going to. And like I spoke to Chad in conversations, whenever the town of Mount Hope is going to sponsor fireworks display, the Mount Hope Fire Company will be there 150% to back you up. Make sure you get in safe, make sure you get out safe, make sure no one gets hurt with the fireworks. For free. That's it. And I'm sorry that that's in that paper, and once again, we're going to clear things up.
Thank you.
All right. Police Department, Paul, you're up.
Just a couple things. Chad mentioned the Moon Festival. We're meeting with them tomorrow. My only concern is that by reading some of the correspondence, this is way bigger than just the guys working, driving through. And obviously it's not a budgeted item. And just to make you aware, there's going to be costs associated with this, especially based on some of the correspondence. I don't know if you've seen some of the correspondence, but we're meeting with them tomorrow, and just to make you aware that I don't know if they want to come up with a.
I mean, I think with the board's approval, I'm meeting with this group tomorrow, and they had some weird requests as far as, I mean, there could be upwards of 1,000 people there. Different things that the highway department may have to do in order for this event to happen in additional fees. And it would be my recommendation that whatever the charges are that we incur, that we have to be up there.
It's not a lot more than they originally said.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll know so many more details tomorrow, but I just don't know yet.
Just based on some of their electricity requests, it just it doesn't seem like it's a couple people in the pavilion. It sounds like it's kind of like the old Woodstock, you know, a couple of people were expected and now 20,000 people show up. I mean, just based on some of their correspondence, and we're meeting with them tomorrow, so we'll know more. But I just want you know, you guys know, that obviously isn't something the budget is having a 3,000 person event that day.
When she originally talked to Paul and I had reached out to Brian, which reached out to the Boy Scouts about parking, because they had asked if they could get help with parking. I think we reached out to Pete County, right? And they didn't want anything, they just wanted help, and of course, the same type of setup. If the Boy Scouts were there and they were parking, if people gave them a donation, they didn't want anything from it. But originally, like I said, I thought it was like 300 or 400 people, and just reading some of the emails, it just seems like it's
And some of their advertising, I mean, this is pretty professionally done. I mean, I think everyone's seen this.
Where was the Moon Festival last year? Do we know that?
Yes, the Moon Festival was in the fire department for Cutting. I was told that it holds 200 in there, and they had about 250 outside because it was over capacity, and that's why they wanted to move it.
450 altogether,
Yeah.
not 250.
Well, 200 and then 250, so 450 altogether.
My other concern is that they've underestimated in the past. When they rented this building, they closed all the streets. They just parked. So if anyone remembers that. So I just want to make everyone aware that this is something that they're, you know, we'll know more tomorrow, I guess. But based on some of their correspondence, it seems like, you know, a little weird.
So, I mean, again, this is on a Saturday, so I mean, if it's anything where, you know, Dean has to have a couple of guys come in and clean up afterwards to do
This is
traffic.
also the same day
Yes.
as the Fall Harvest Festival,
Yes.
which is going to be.
Which Finchville's going to be shut down.
So
Yes.
then what does that mean for fire? Like seriously, like if there's that much and there's a fire someplace, what does that mean?
Well, that's why we have to have additional police to make sure that road stays open. Yep, that's why I'm thinking any additional cost, in my recommendation, is pass it on to the applicant. If it means we have to have 5 additional officers come in, that's fine, we're going to pay for it.
I mean, I would think other than a community event or a town sponsored event, this might be something we want to do across the board. People are going to be holding a large scale.
Absolutely, we have to change that.
So, and then I have the budget modification to reflect the intake of the car that was checked in the other day. And that's all I have unless anyone has any questions.
Village of Otisville, Diane.
Feeling not very much. We always have a recap meeting following the yard sale, and talk about the good, bad, and what we can do better. And I'm going to talk to Paul after the meeting, because we'd like you to attend it, your meetings, we'll try to schedule around it. The earlier the better, but next week have something that they can show to say, the town is supporting this, we do allow us to vote it, you know, maybe you were already, no, you're not getting permission.
Okay, I understand.
So, I would like to get a motion to approve the Turning Town Field awareness campaign and authorize, and you guys authorize me to sign it and approve it.
Make the motion.
Thanks, Shannon, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. David, Cluster Housing, we are not ready for that. correct?
No, we are now, but we received comments on the Saturdays this evening. Orange County Planning is simply waiting and said that, just remember that moratoriums are kind of a temporary fix, and they hope that you are working on something in the meantime, which is what we're going to do. So, based upon the planning comments, I don't see any reason why this board could not vote to adopt the law.
Okay, so are we adopting it for 6 months?
Yeah, the law is written as 6 months and then 2 or 3 month rules.
So your total for just, it's gotta be done.
Exactly.
So a motion to approve the cluster housing moratorium for a period of 6 months.
Make the motion.
Second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's have it. David was kind enough to send out the flyer bid package. So, basically, hopefully everyone got it. Basically, this is going to be for the fire protection from January 1st, 2017, through the end of the calendar year, December 31st, 2017. Kathleen, I don't have the dates that I gave to you earlier today.
September 2nd.
But we're looking at, hopefully by Thursday, it would be in the newspaper. And we would like the bid packages in September 2nd. What were we talking about, 10 a.m.? At 10 a.m. And then obviously that's when the bid opening would be, which is a Friday. So with the board's approval, I'd like to put this bid out for fire protection for the town of Mount Hope. As soon as humanly possible through Kathleen for the period of January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017. Second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kathleen, can you ask, before David gets to that, remember you still have one thing you want to ask? Motion to approve the supervisor's report for July 2016.
Make the motion to approve the supervisor's report.
Second?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Surplus and destroy the old fax machine, rubber fax machine from town clerk's office.
Make the motion we grant it as surplus.
Second?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did everyone get a chance to take a look at, maybe you can help me out with this, David, for changing the terms for highway superintendent? I know you sent this correspondence.
Right. Essentially, because New York likes to keep you on your toes, there's 2 different ways that this can happen. The first is that this board can adopt a local law at least 60 days before the next general election, which would be November 8th of this year. In which case, it would go to mandatory referendum during the general election. That's provided for under the New York State home rule law. The other option is found in the town law, which allows this board to do the same exact thing by resolution at least 150 days before the next biennial town election. So that would mean it would have to be at least 5 months before election day of 2017. If it was done by resolution, even if it was done by resolution now, before the general election, that would go to referendum next year in the biennial town election rather than the general regardless of how the town elects to do it, if the town elects to do it, the new term, the longer term, would not take effect until January 1st of 2018. Because you can't extend an already existing term, you would have to wait until the next term is meeting. So I only heard back from one board member today. I had prepared a potential local law based upon the idea based upon the requirements of the municipal home rule law for this board to consider. If you were to put it on for public hearing, the first meeting in September, and you were also to adopt it that evening, you'd be more than 60 days before the next general election, which means voters would vote on it this year rather than next year. So it's completely up to the board whether or not this is something that you want to do, but in the event you wanted to do it, so it was on the ballot this year, I provided that for you.
You guys want to put it on the agenda for next meeting?
I'm sorry, can I just, because I wasn't at the last meeting, what is the thought with this? How do you see that?
Dean actually brought it up, you want to go over it?
Sure. For the requirements for the position of highway superintendent in the state of New York anymore, it's crazy to have a 2-year term. As I've mentioned in the past, I have to be certified because of our tank systems that we have. You have to have knowledge of the MS4. You can go on and on and on. It's not just managing the crew, taking care of roads anymore. So I asked for it for not only me, but future highway superintendents. By the time they come and learn the job and have to go through another election, it's crazy.
There's just not going to be enough time to get all the certifications in schools you have to get through. You need to be certified before your next election.
Dean, I just remember one meeting with the firms. I was superintendent. A lot of people do it 4 years.
Yes, there's a lot that are putting it on the ballot.
So basically, David, we're just allowing the people to vote on it. We're not breaking it.
If you put it up for public hearing and adopt the local law next meeting, which is actually 3 weeks from today, you would be putting it on as a mandatory referendum for the general election.
But we as a board aren't deciding that the voters are deciding.
Correct.
Okay.
Ultimately.
Then I don't really see what the
It would not take effect until the voters affirm it.
Okay. Okay, so you'll have everything prepared for us next meeting. I think if anyone has any questions, they can either reach out to Dean or to David and hopefully have any of their answers.
You have to do a motion set up for public hearing for this evening.
So how about a motion to set a public hearing for the extension of highway superintendent from the 2-year term to a 4-year term for next meeting, which is September 6th. That's here already. September 6th at 7:05 here at 7 Baker Street. What is it?
I made that motion.
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so it's that time of year again. Let's talk about the budget. I'd like to have a workshop, and I was looking at dates today with Kathleen, and I'm actually looking at the 14th and the 15th of September, which I believe is a Wednesday and a Thursday. David, we were kind of wondering if it could be worded. There's a possibility we'd have it on the 14th and close everything to be done. But obviously, time restraints, we don't, we would like to do one legal ad. But
I would say set dates for both meetings. If you don't need the second one, you can cancel it, or you can show up or family or something like that. But I would advertise both dates of the meetings.
Right, but then we can just put a notice up saying meetings canceled or whatever, if we've got everything all the work done on the
If
phone.
you got what that,
Okay. So, and I'm thinking like 6 PM, so how about a motion to approve budget workshop meetings at the town hall on September 14th and 15th at 6 PM? Need a motion for
Should I make that motion?
Second.
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. This I touched on last week also. I'm going to have, Kathleen's going to send out a letter to all of the department heads. I want to do a townwide newsletter. I mentioned it to the board last time. I want to just reiterate it again tonight. Any committees that you're on, anything that you want to have in it, this is only going to be once a year newsletter. And hopefully we can direct more people to the website so that we don't have to do a newsletter. So anything pertinent that you would like to have as a council person put into the newsletter, I would like all of the documentation back either to myself or Kathleen by September 6th. Kathleen has agreed to be the editor for it. So if we need to shorten things down or whatever, we really aren't going to know until we can kind of get it out of format and see. My goal is by the 19th to have the newsletters go out. So again, the DCO officer, I don't know that the court is going to want to put anything in. If any department that wants to put anything in, you'll have the sprinkling updates by then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so and basically anyone that wants to put anything in there, we're going to try to make everything fit so that it can be a nice informational newsletter. Kathleen, would you be able to read the budget modification?
Please increase revenue account A2655 for sale of surplus, $9,001. Also increase expense police contractual account A3120.4 for the amount of $9,001. This modification reflects sale of the police vehicle.
Motion to approve the budget modification as read.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You didn't need it. You forget it. All of that was again. Thanks. Good. Public participation?
Hi, I'm Jerry Cook. Good to see you guys. It's been a while. Anyway, again, I'd like to ask about doing a water study for the impact of what's going on in Deer Park would have on the town. I know in my own experience, I wrote this up a few months ago, I don't know anything about it. But I know we had a drought time and my well and sulfur and stuff like that. So between the drawdown of 1 million gallons a day, I want to know if the drought situation and stuff like that will impact the town. And the reason that's a good thing to do is because
Basically saying our concern is don't sign it for the park.
Just real quick to let the board, especially me know, seniors are starting out on a 3-day trip tomorrow. We're headed off to Baltimore and Washington DC. So I would anticipate somewhere between 16 and 20 cars will be burned over the wall. We're leaving at 7 tomorrow morning and we're expected to get back Thursday evening about 7 o'clock.
Just like to say, the summer rec program is phenomenal. I'd like to thank the town and the village board for putting that together, and the lady there, Lisa, and all the other counselors that were there. It was phenomenal. We had a great time as the fire company going there, trying to knock the kids down with fire hose, let them down. It was a lot of fun.
Now, did they give you that banner thanking you guys?
Yep, they gave us a nice banner that all the kids put their hands on. We almost got it wet. Figured out that it was all in non-toxic, safe watercolors. So the banner was saved before it got wet, but it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. I can't say enough. I mean, the program, the school, everything is phenomenal. The other thing, not that we want to spend money like drunken sailors, but down at the park, sure would be nice if somehow the town and the village could get together to put up a fence in that parking area, like a post and rail or some sort of fence, where they put the snow fence up every year. Something that would be nice there to actually, no matter what's going on with Little League or football or whatever, it's fun. Just a suggestion. We've got a great fencing company within the confines of the village and the town that you guys can probably ask or strong arm to put up a fence or something. Just something down there that would be nice. That's just something that's always been on my mind. The other thing is the fire protection contract. The bids are due in September 2nd.
Yes.
When do we get to pick up a packet of what we're going to be bidding?
It should be available tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometime this week we should.
Absolutely. We'll be in the paper probably till Wednesday or Thursday, but you can pick up a packet tomorrow.
Okay. And then there will be parameters of what we're bidding on and what you're requesting.
Yes. Yes. And obviously, if I'm missing anything or whatever, then obviously we'll.
No, because my only concern is technically we have, as a taxpayer and a person looking for fire protection, we have 8 days. 8 days to finalize whoever's going to protect my house and the rest of the people's houses in town hall. Because there's only 2 town board meetings a month. So that's 8 days from now to the end of the year. Counting tonight would be 9 days.
I don't understand.
Well, every action that occurs, everything that happens needs a board action or resolution, right? So there's 8 town board meetings between now and the end of the year. That's my only point. I'm happy that the bid packets are out.
I was going to say, I wanted it out a month ago, so.
I know you did. We talked that you wanted it out even sooner than that, but I'm just pointing out that there's 8 days worth of town board meetings to finalize the fire contract.
Well, we're hoping it's finalized. I mean, if we're doing bid openings on the 2nd, it should be finalized within the next meeting or I don't think.
Right. Thank you.
I don't think we're reading that.
And the fencing would be, I thought about that for years, that there should be, we could take care of that, and you could ask volunteers, and, the fencing company maybe sends down one of their jeeps with a post hole, and,
I'm writing down new volunteer right here and there.
One at a time. You don't know how many of those stakes we've driven in the ground up and down that Fitchville Turnpike, putting that snow fence up. That's not just saying the Mount Hope Fire Company, that's just saying Home Fire, and then they've driven a lot of stakes down there.
Anybody else?
I'll start out by even putting my name next to Louis. Volunteering for the fence, and I'm sure the Lions Club, I'm sure would be able to.
It would be nice
set up a little something there to help too.
Can I start off with just any updates?
Still waiting for a response. I've been following up on that once a week.
That's great. Is it the intent we're going to get a public review of the franchise agreement?
We have to.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was existing, if it was a quickie, or was it going to be a full
I don't think anything's going to be quick.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The second piece is, historically, have we ever gotten anything in Lookout Fire and Presidents with the Grand Mountain State Park, you know, up on Mountain? Yeah, we have a state park in the town of Grand Mountain State Park, which, oh, by the way, abuts up next to, sadly, where this demolition and construction is going for the Buddhist installations. And they have stripped the back of it. Obviously, Frankie talks about it, and I'm bringing it up from that perspective of erosion on the backside of the mountain, the effects on the state park, which are in our town, and whether New Jersey Transit's been told about the erosion in the water because these last storms went for a little hike past the old copper mines, if you guys know or not. The erosion that Frankie's been talking about is now going down into the railroad beds. So this is going to get out of hand real fast. Broken record, but that's what this is for, so let's bring it up. I think this is going to get away from us quick. I'm not saying we haven't done anything, but there are just so many things that are starting to steamroll. And the other piece is, have we done, and is there anything that discusses the water or sewer expansion on the town assets as we possibly either tear down the school and put 6 new homes or anything like that? Anything out there? And then what would the burden be? Is the fire companies, are they set to handle the expansion of possible 6, 7, 8 new homes on there? So just for consideration, Dean, I don't know if that's ever been done and where we're at. Okay. Those are just 3. Thank you for that. I really appreciate tonight's hearing.
You didn't take any pictures down there while you were down there?
No, they've got frankly, they've got strip cameras all over the place.
No, I'm just saying the erosion from the water, because I know it was crazy.
Yeah, there's some nice.
Just an aside, the Dragon Springs community has made a complaint to the police that they're being harassed and being trespassed upon. We actually have a meeting set up tomorrow to meet with them. So.
Is that open? Is that going to be open?
No, it's just a private. I mean, if it's something, I'll let you guys know what it is. But they feel that they're being harassed and their property is being trespassed upon. Although they've never called at the time. I'm assuming it's going to be the trip camera.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. It's a little hairy with the automatic weapons on the front gate and the sidearms on the back gate, and whether or not we even know those people are authorized or licensed to carry automatic weapons or sidearms on the gate. These are now in town. They're in the town. So,
that's why we meet with us.
Yeah. Anybody else?
One thing I forgot to say, I've been in here, just a nice community center looks.
Thanks,
The
Mike.
floor looks great. You showed me pictures, but it doesn't do it justice. It's very nice. Very nice.
Anybody else?
It's gonna be real short.
All right.
Pardon me?
Say it loud.
That's why we're here. First of all, I have neighbors now and friends that are involved with the Falun Dafa movement practice. Very nice people. I only know a few. I don't discuss Dragon Springs with them because we have differences of opinion, obviously. But anyway, I'm talking about the Chinese Moon Festival, and it's going to happen on the same day as the 4-H Harvest Festival. And I wanted to ask Paul if he really thinks that it's a good idea to have 2 large events.
This is what we were talking about before.
Yeah, I know.
And
Why don't
that's
you
why we're
send
gonna-
them out to Orange County Park where there's plenty of space?
It's not really my place.
No, I mean, it just suggested, I mean.
Right. Well, we're meeting with them tomorrow, Dean and Chad and myself, and we'll have more information for the board.
Because you might want to just suggest a bigger place.
Yeah, I think it's obviously too late at this point for them.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, they have their times.
Would you like it? This is an extra one.
I haven't been.
They have big posters too. This is the minute.
I have not been out. sincere. But I think if that sounds to me like something needs to be corrected in writing in the next issue. And the second thing that Diane mentioned under her breath, which I'm going to say out loud, was I said that Lou Dodd mentioned counting the Boy Scouts donation money, and if it belongs to them, then why is the fire company counting the money?
I have an answer for you. I'll answer you very simply because I have an answer. It's always been done that way over the years. This year was different than any other year, and Lou jumped in, whatever. This year was different, and since it's always went that route, that's just the route that they went. And listen, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, I'm not, I just was bringing it out there because it was a Fed issue last month. It's just that the voice brought it to light again, is what I'm going to say. So going forward, not throwing any more stones, going forward, it's a dead issue.
I still believe the correction is saying that it was the person who did it.
The person that wrote the article to the voice, right.
Anybody else?
Julie, we're 3 minutes around.
I'm done. I'm not done.
Board comments. What do you got, Don?
I guess I have no comment tonight.
Janet?
I would like to request executive session to discuss the personnel issue.
What do you got?
I have summer rec. I just want to state for the record, I never received any emails and complaints or any phone calls from anyone at summer rec. I think it went pretty good.
No comments.
Where are we doing executive session? Are we voting on it? Okay, so motion to executive session.
Determination to be made after.
No determination is going to be made, so we're going to just do executive session without closing the meeting. Motion to do executive session for personnel.
funny because usually it's like we have it up and then we call it green and that's it. Roger called me and said, hey, tomorrow we're wrapping around the pole, you guys sleeping in the back? No, that's not aware of that. Oh, yeah, we were out together last night. That's what he said. How long? Nobody stops. Nobody calls. If you're coming down that road, and you're way down the yeah, I mean, there's no tail lights up off the road, and you're not seeing anything happening, you're not going to stop. So somebody's running by, Sure, go right ahead. Yes, go right ahead. Yeah, what the hell is it? Because the Boy Scouts came and gave it to us and left. Yeah, like they've always done all the years. I arranged for the Boy Scouts to do marketing 3-4 months ahead of time. So they can deal with me, and at the end of the night, here you go. And that's been done for the last 6 hours. Yeah, don't worry about it. They're not. They're little guys. We called them the next day. Don't recall next day. But I have on the start, you did more.
that's all you get, just returning receipt. Meaning just regular vehicles, one at a time, like I said, on September 2nd at 10 a.m. So it's your responsibility to, do it up, make sure you have everything that's required, that they ask. Well, we have a paper explaining everything that we need in line, and then, there's one thing, something that you have to get from you also. No. Which I'm not sure what it is, that's like 1 or 2 dealing. I'm thinking that it's, I know that's not collusion, not that I'm too. Yeah, I was, what type of machine I wanted to get down, so down, I need that arch. So I need that, Paula's coming. She's gonna call up. So I don't have to go back to town hall. We were something to do tomorrow. Because I knew this was the plan. I said, I can't imagine it go that night. It's probably the best. Well, that's what I mean, so, but even still, I don't have it. Yeah, she'll have to do it tomorrow morning. I open it because that's one of my responsibilities. So they all get turned into me at 10 a.m. on September 2nd. Absolutely. But